Good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Norwood Planning Board. My name is Rob Bamber and I serve as chair of the board. The quorum is present and the meeting is therefore called to order. Tonight's proceedings will go as follows. Public hearings will be opened by reading the legal notice into the record. The applicant will have the opportunity to make their presentation to the board. The board members may then ask questions of the applicant. Once the board has concluded its questioning, I will open up the hearing to the public for comment. All members of the public in attendance who wish to ask a question or make a comment must wait to be recognized by the chair before speaking. Once recognized, be prepared to state your name and address for the record and speak loudly for all to hear. All questions and comments must be directed through the chair, and I will call upon board members and/or the applicant as needed to respond. The board will then move into a period of deliberation where it will determine whether or not it closes the public hearing and moves to a vote or continues the public hearing to a later date. A few quick reminders before we begin. We request that participants in this evening's meeting remain respectful to attendees, board members, applicants, and staff. Please be concise in your comments and presentations to ensure that sufficient time is available for others to comment and for the board to deliberate. Please turn your phones to silent and refrain from side conversations so that all participants in the meeting can hear. Thank you. Our first item on the agenda is 647 Washington Street, sign site plan review. Do we have someone here to?
Yes.
Yes, please state your name and go ahead.
Yes, my name is Brian and I'm from Signorama Walpole. I'm just proposing a sign for Sally and Rocco's Hair Studio at 647 Washington Street. It's just a basic PVC sign panel with vinyl lettering on it, just to go right up on the facade to match the neighboring businesses that have very, very similar signage above their main entrance.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the sign? It's essentially.
I do, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Debbie, go ahead.
Thank you for covering again, Rob. And are we having goosenecks? I only have this sheet.
Yeah, there are, I believe, a couple of gooseneck lights in place from the previous sign, but we're not changing any lighting if there is any there.
Okay, but you're going to use the ones that are there?
I believe there's two there in place for the sign that was there previously.
Okay. It's not showing up on my picture, but that's fine. And
Right.
Sarah, it meets all the criteria, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's it, Mr. Chair, thank you.
I have no comments, other than it looks good, it looks like it's ready to go.
Okay, any other comments from the board? Pretty simple, straightforward. I'll entertain a motion if there is one.
Motion to approve?
Second. Motion to approve and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, roll call vote. Debbie?
Yes,
Ernie, yes.
Joe, yes.
Rob, yes.
Brian Heskey, yes.
Great. Thank you and good luck.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks.
All right, next up we have 21 Walpole Street, site plan review. Welcome.
Welcome, good evening, James Murphy. My law office is in Brighton, Massachusetts. I'm here on behalf of my client, Medfield Holdings. The principal of Medfield Holdings is Mr. Borelli, he's here in the audience. We also have with us tonight the civil engineer, Rob Truax, he's from Truax Engineering. I think the plans have been submitted. Just to give you a little bit of a background, this is the proposed renovation and addition to the 21 Walpole, which is currently existing, underutilized, and a little tired single-family residence on Walpole Street at the corner with Beacon. It's proposed to be converted into 6 condominium units for sale. Originally, we did have a informal conference with staff and went over some of the comments that they had on our original submissions. We tried to incorporate all those into the actually submitted plans. Subsequently, Mr. Truax had follow-up conversations with Mr. Ryan, the town engineer, concerning some of the comments that he made. He submitted some additional responses to all of those comments, and I believe, at least our perception, that they've all been resolved. There's an ongoing dialogue open between Mr. Truax and the town engineer. Mr. Burley has had a lot of development in Medfield, and that's how he first came in contact with your building inspector, Mr. Pelletier, and has been working well with him as well. So we're looking forward to going forward with this project. Mr. Truax is here to answer any technical questions that you may have, and we're available to answer any of the questions. The only thing that we would ask, if in fact the board is inclined to adopt the planning staff's recommendation, one of the recommendations was number 7, which asks for completion of the project, a certified landscape architect shall submit a letter to the planning board confirming that landscaping has been implemented in accordance with the approved site plans. We would just ask that as an alternative to a certified landscape architect, that you also accept instead a letter from the project civil engineer, Mr. Truax. That would be the only request that we would ask that change of any of the recommendations made by the planning staff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, are there any, yes?
Oh, are you done? Are you
Yeah.
asking for questions?
Sure.
Just,
Hi, just whoever wants to answer this. In regards to this landscape plan,
Yes.
and I'm going through the plans, and there's not a lot of landscaping. I mean, I'm looking, this is the last, no, the lighting is last.
What are you looking at?
I just want to go to the page, landscape, which is sheet L1. So, on the, is this what's, you're thinking of adding is all of this?
Yes. For the record, I'm Rob Truax, Truax Engineering Group.
So
So we worked
that-
with an actual landscaper who's going to be actually doing the work on the site. He does all the work with Bob, so we had him come up with a schematic. And those are all those are new plantings except for the one top left on the plan.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much there now. I mean, yeah.
No, there isn't, and anything in front of the house is overgrown, it would need to come down. But there is an area up to the back along the abutters property where it says existing trees. We've agreed to leave those there for a screening, they're evergreens that were there now. And we had Bob had worked with that neighbor that he would not take that area and disturb it, so we're trying to preserve that with a screening for that neighbor.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see you put a lot of landscaping in front of the new parking lot, kind of blocks that. I mean, in its day, that was a beautiful,
I'm sure.
you know, it was really nice, in its day.
Yeah.
But I'm glad with the new, you know, the parking lot there would be a big change, but I'm glad you're at least trying to hide it. You know, as far as not having a landscape architect, I'm not a, you know, I don't, sometimes on projects like this, I don't know if it's needed, but we'll talk about that after, but that was my only question is, I think I missed this page when I was going through it, so I appreciate you filling me in. As far as the rest of the project, we're raising, you're pretty tight back there with that, 'cause the garage is coming down, right?
Yeah, you want a quick overview of the site layout?
Yeah, you might as well, I mean, it might be helpful for everybody.
So the existing site is that there is, I don't show it on this sheet, we show the area coming down, but there is a demo plan. So the back half of the existing house and the garage, which is not shown on this sheet, are coming down. So where you see the area says proposed addition,
Yeah, I
on
think-
that back half, that's part of the existing house. So that's kind of not in good shape. So we're gonna take that down, put a new foundation, rebuild that section, take the garage out. We're gonna put a little add-on to the, I guess it would be the north lot line coming out that side, and then the main house is gonna remain. The porch will get rebuilt on the front, that'll all get redone. I'm trying to save, you guys have the renderings, you can see what it's gonna look like when it's finished. So we spread the parking out in two areas. We put 4 spaces up in the back. We originally had 6, and we were backing out onto Beacon Ave, onto this, backing straight out onto the street. And after we had the staff meeting, people kind of didn't like the backing out onto the street, so it was recommended that we do something different. And I believe, I talked with the building inspector, and that was actually some suggestion of his that we just come in and turn to both sides, and we reduce it to 4, and we add a couple spaces out front. Before we had 8 in the front, now we have 10. So we do have 14 spaces for 6 units. We have a total of 10 bedrooms. There's 2 one-bedroom units and 4 two-bedroom units. So we have more than 1 space per bedroom within the complex. I mean, that's what's required under your regulations and your bylaws for parking, is 14 spaces based on the bylaw. We did go out and do some soil testing with the engineering department. We're gonna put a recharge system out in the front, all along the street. So the way the parking lot in the front is gonna drain, it's gonna run off the pavement into a grass swale. We're gonna capture that in the swale and run it down to this leaching galley system. And we have 3 catch bases on top of the galleys so the water can get into the galleys. We've oversized that a little bit for a 100-year storm. I talked with Mark Ryan, because we don't have any drainage directly abutting the site. We don't have any drainage right on Walpole Street. We have no drainage on Beacon, no Beacon Ave. So we were concerned about overflow, so we did increase the size of it. Normally, we just do 2 inches of runoff for these type of situations, but we sized it for a 100-year storm event, just in case, so we did have that on. The back parking lot goes into a small recharge system along the side of the building. That's getting captured in a catch basin in the corner. And then the roof runoff is distributed into recharge systems all around the house. So everything's captured. All the impervious surface goes to a recharge system on the site. Nothing discharges off-site. As far as the water and sewer, there's no water or sewer in Beacon Street in that section of road, right along our frontage. We've been out 3 times with the sewer department. We can't find the service out to the street. We found it going out of the house, but that's as far as we've got. We've dug up the front yard with a backhoe the other day. So we're just gonna put a new service in. We were trying to get the old service and jump on it before it went into the Walpole Street. So it looks like we're gonna have to run a service out all the way into Walpole Street for the project. I will say that the sewer though on Walpole Street, if you look, it's relatively close to the curb line. As you're coming down in front of the site, it gets real close. So we're gonna go right beside the hydrant there and tie in. It's only about 2 feet off the edge of pavement, so we don't have to go out on Walpole Street to do that. As far as the water goes, there's no water in Beacon Street. There's water in Beacon Ave. We are going to do some flow tests to make sure we have ample pressure and flow for the fire system within the house. But we're going to do our tap on Beacon Ave. So we're going to go out into Beacon Ave. We'll bring 1 line in, split it off, 1 for the sprinkler, 1 for the domestic. And then we are going to go into Beacon Street for the gas service. That's the only cut we're going to have in Beacon Street. There is an existing driveway that goes out to Beacon Street now from the garage that you mentioned earlier, and we're going to close that off. And then we're going to have the opening down in the front, and then just the 1 opening up on Beacon Ave. I think that's kind of an overview of everything.
Thank you. Yes, Joe?
Do you know how old the building is and how long it's been unused?
Do you know that?
It was built in 1895. I'm pretty sure it's been vacant for 2 years.
Gentleman died, passed away a couple of years there, about.
Yeah.
I know it's a little unusual to have parking out in front.
across the street, I know that's what they've done to some of those other houses there. Out of necessity, I guess it's pretty much your situation in the sense that you had one owner here. It's probably too much of a house for one owner, I don't know. And this is what has been happening downtown. Although I don't think they have that on this side of the street. Nevertheless, when it comes to the parking, it's unusual to have it out front. But since we do have it on this plan, how tall, what kind of bushes, are they bushes out around the parking area out front?
There's trees along the street proposed. There's a, if you look at that landscaping,
O1
it's at the very
second
end,
to last page.
second from the last. So there's some, yes, there's some trees along the roadway, right behind the sidewalk, along the existing sidewalk that will go in. And then those are pretty much bushes and a mulch bed along the parking area. I don't think there's any significant trees in there. And then there's tree, bushes up along, because we have a retaining wall up along the stairs. There's a lot of stairs that go up now to the house from the front door coming down, so we're gonna put a little retaining wall there, and then we're gonna still have a lot of stairs going up from the parking lot.
Yeah, where the bushes are now is kind of a steep
Kind of overgrown.
drop. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
Anyone else have any comments, questions?
Just a couple. Offhand, do you know what the square footage of the existing building is before alterations?
It's just under 5.
Okay.
5.
And you're adding, what, 26 or so more?
Yeah. Because the garage, the attic is unfinished, and there's 2 one-bedroom units on the 3rd floor.
All right. And I know it's not for us necessarily, but I'm asking, the intention is that it's condos, they'll be on the market?
Yes.
All right. I'm very appreciative of the idea of home ownership opportunities in town. They seem to be rare and rare. For what it's worth, I'm glad for the fact that the structure, the integrity of the facade of the building's remaining intact. It's a nice building.
It is a nice building.
Yeah, thank you.
Ms. Olmwood?
Okay, are you going to level the lot off? Are you gonna leave that retaining wall that goes around the sidewalk, or are you taking it down to grade?
The retaining wall right behind the sidewalk on Walpole Street, the little wall that's there,
Yes.
that will remain. We will take the stairs out. We're not gonna have a walkway from the parking lot to Walpole Street. We're gonna bring
Okay.
a walkway, people will be able to walk out to Beacon Ave.
Okay, I'm sure everybody's gonna ask the same question. This is right next to the library, which is one of our jewels, and I know you gotta get the parking, but I would really like to stay with a landscape architect so we mitigate a little of this hardtop that is going to be right on Walpole Street. And, I don't have the tree plans, but I would like to ask my board that we go with a larger caliper, because this is going to be a huge change for the neighborhood. And I would like to stay with the landscape architecture. I would also like to put in any decision in the future that we mark the trees in the back. If you've told the people behind you that you're going to leave those mature trees in the corner. Correct?
We're gonna put a fence, we're gonna put up construction fence around them, protect them.
And you're going to leave the trees.
Yeah, we're gonna leave those trees.
Okay. And you're having a driveway cut onto Beacon?
Correct.
And where's the other driveway cut? On Beacon
Beacon Ave.
Ave? Okay, so there's no access to go from the 10 parking spaces in the front around the house, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm looking at Mark Ryan's things, but that's, okay, I gotta think about this. I'll wait until we're done with the questions from the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
I have just a question for,
Sure.
just, Sarah, do we know if Carly has looked at the tree plantings? Are they all, she's okay with it? Okay. So conservation is good with the list of tree plantings?
I mean, conservation's not jurisdictional here because
No,
there's no wetlands
I
area,
meant
there's no
Carly,
protected
she-
areas, but yeah, our department did review the species selection and work with the applicant to select species that were generally consistent with what this board has approved in the past.
Thank you. Again, by end of the mic.
Thought we got another mic.
Next year's budget.
No. Already said we had another mic floating around the senior center. What happened to it?
We got it, Debbie. It's over here.
What was it? Oh, good.
Yeah. Anyone else from the board?
I guess one more last question.
Sure.
I don't need the mic.
Yeah.
Have we, this is to Sarah, the in the notes from Mark Ryan, have they been, didn't get a letter from Mark. Have they been satisfied? Or do we have outstanding things that we have to continue this for? You keep that one, and why don't you grab that one?
So the town engineer has not had a chance to review the revised plans that were submitted. However, it would appear that all of the issues that were raised in the town engineer's memo have been addressed, and they were relatively minor in the first place. If the board is so inclined, my recommendation would be to include a condition of approval that requires that final review by the town engineer. That draft language is in the memo that was distributed to board members. I believe it's proposed condition 1 of the site plan approval, but that would just give the opportunity for the town engineer to give a final review of what was submitted.
Thank you. Are you agreeable with that?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think he's had a chance to,
Why don't you
he didn't know we were out digging the sewer the other day. I think he's on vacation last week.
Yeah.
So he wasn't out there with us, just the sewer guys were, when we were out digging all that out. So we told him we were doing it, but I did talk to him about it. He did take my call.
Yes, Mrs.
May I-
Olmer. Yes.
I understand we have all of Mark's remarks here and everything, and again, this is going to be a huge change on Walpole Street. I also appreciate that it's going to be home ownership. I just would like to make sure we have all the things we need before we pull the trigger. And Mark's got, how many? 2 pages here. And again, the landscape is going to be the backbreaker in this, I think. Because the parking lot on Walpole Street, next to the library, is going to be a huge change. So I think we need to be very cognizant of the fact that we need to beef it up as much as we can so we're not looking at a parking lot. That's just my pitch for today. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you, Debbie. Any other further comments or suggestions here as to how we move forward?
The public hearing, are we opening it up?
No, it's not a public hearing.
It's not?
No. And the other thing is, I guess, on the waiving the landscape architect, or that his, what he has to, what he is supposed to propose or deliver, that's an issue that we probably should discuss one way or the other, whether we should waive that. And I just want to ask the
So we
other
haven't
board,
had
the
discussion.
other board members on that.
Anyone, should I take a straw poll for waiving landscape architect?
Ask for comment.
Or a comment? Yes, Debbie.
I don't know how to be more emphatic about this. This is a huge change. Again, it's a huge change on Walpole Street next to the library. And we are not arborists. We don't know the names of trees. I think it would be really important to have a company that could tell us how fast they're going to grow, what size we're going to get, and make sure that it's not just a big black parking lot staring at Walpole Street and the library. So I would implore my planning board members to not waive the landscape architecture, as we've kind of butted up against this before with some of the stuff on Route 1, and then we're running around counting trees, and that's what they do. I know it's an expense to the developer, but I think this is really important. Nobody's not going to see this.
Sarah, if you could, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to clarify to the board, this condition has become a standard condition of approval in recent years for the board. The intention here is to require applicants to submit what's essentially like an as-built plan. In building, there's an as-built plan after a structure is constructed to be able to say, yes, this was constructed exactly as it was, as it was permitted to do. This is effectively the same thing, but for landscaping. It's requiring a certification from a registered professional to be able to say, yes, every plant that the board required, when it issued its approval, has been planted exactly according to plan. The benefit there is having the expertise of that registered professional. It's not necessarily requiring, anything above and beyond that certification that says that everything was planted according to plan. It's effectively an involvement after the fact, just signing off that this was done properly.
And may I ask, Mr. Chair, may I ask?
Yes, go ahead.
The landscape plan is part of the caveat to get the certificate of occupancy, correct?
Full compliance with the site plan approval is a requirement for that certificate of occupancy. So yes, the landscaping plan is part of that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Ernie?
Are you sitting down, Ms. Homewood? I'm going to agree with you.
No, but you want to watch these all
Wanna be
down? You're gonna
I'm
agree with you.
going to agree with you on this one.
Yep.
Just for information, Deb, there is, on that L1 plan, they do list the plants that are already chosen. So it's, the landscape architect has already been involved in choosing the plants. So they're already there. So what we're asking to do is, like Sarah said, basically an as-built that they will put in. And I think that because of past, unfortunately, some things in the past where landscaping was never taken care of, that we had to go to this. Not that I'm saying that, this applicant, but I think all applicants now, we need to have that as-built on the landscaping, that it was planted, the right species were put in, and so I would say that we do need, we don't need another plan, we just need a letter saying it was by a certified landscape architect that it was done correctly and the right plants were there. So I'm in favor of not waiving that.
I just have a question on what would be the cost of them? Does anyone have an idea? Because you seem to be reluctant. I know you're probably trying to watch your costs. Do you have an idea what that would be?
So we would have to identify a certified landscape architect, which is not easy to do these days. And then we'd have to have them come out. And basically, if in fact what was sought was that there was a sense that these plantings, which I think are acceptable to everyone, if it was just that they were in fact planted, we would have a professional, which would be the civil engineer, who would certify. We're not asking you to waive that a professional doesn't certify to you that they were in fact installed as set forth in the plan. We're just asking that you give us the choice of doing it as either the certified landscape architect or the existing civil engineer. So that's all we were asking for. We're only asking for a small option, not an elimination of a certification by a professional, just the engineer instead of an architect.
I come back, I think.
Thank you, Ms. Homewood.
I appreciate and understand what you're asking for. We've just, as Ernie said, been caught before. We are not arborists. I just strongly want to implore the board to stay with somebody that can speak the language of plantings and not just what you've submitted to us. I belabor, I appreciate your listening to me. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, just one, we would be happy to supply with his, if the engineer, he would supply receipts from the purchasing of the plants listed so that there would be no question in your mind that we had purchased those plants listed. So we would give you receipts saying these are the plants we purchased. He would certify that they were in fact planted in the location shown on the plan. That's all we're asking.
You said it might be difficult finding a landscape architect. Are they a rare breed of
Well, you know,
engineer?
typically they want to take on the entire project. They don't like it when you've already selected the plants. They have their own vision, which we haven't solicited their vision yet. So, if in fact the board doesn't want to give us that small difference, then so be it. But I think we're essentially saying we can give you a professional who will tell you with receipts that yes, in fact, these plants listed on this plan, which is a condition to the certificate of occupancy, have in fact been planted in locations shown on the approved site plan. That's all we're asking.
With all respect to the request, it makes sense, I get it. But there's been experiences here with large, huge corporate owners not complying with landscaping plans. And to be perfectly just candid, is a certified landscape professional who's certifying serves a function that you're asking to bypass. I understand that there's a cost and a hassle involved, but I'm inclined to agree with Deb, given the high-profile location, the sensitivity of where this place is, and as far as straw poll goes, I think I lean in the direction of not granting a waiver.
Well, thank you for the consideration. I certainly don't know what your history has been, and you certainly are closer to that than we are. So if in fact the board's prepared to go forward with the recommendation as written of the planning staff, then we would accept it.
Okay. Any further comments, Sarah? All right. Do we have any?
Mr. Chair, before you go, do we need to, where the applicant requested a waiver, do we need to vote on that? Should we take a vote if we?
We withdraw.
Oh, you're going to withdraw it?
We'll withdraw it.
Okay. All right, thank you. Then we're good.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion if anyone's got a...
I'll make a motion to approve with the condition, with the standard conditions, and also that the town engineer will give a once-over on the final few minor items that need to be addressed, if that's agreeable with the, okay. That's,
Got a motion?
That's a motion.
Got a second?
Can I chime in before we?
Yes, please. Ms. Holman.
No, there's no flavor of the board to give Mr. Ryan some time to go over this and give them some time to find a landscape architect if we're not going to waive that landscape architect provision?
Yeah, the,
You won.
yes, the condition is that Mr. Ryan will look at the plans, the final plans. That was one of the conditions, Ms. Homewood.
Right, but he
That-
hasn't had,
Right, he hasn't as of yet, but nothing gets done until he does. So we're giving Mr. Ryan the opportunity to look at the last few items that need to be addressed before he gives his okay. That was one of the conditions, that he signs off on this.
I
And as far as the
understand.
landscape architect, that would be at the, I'm assuming that would be at the end of the project when the plantings are put in and all that. So they have couple of days to find one of those.
I understand that it's part of the decision to let, I'm just asking, maybe he would like a little more time to look at it. And to Brian's point about, we've had big projects where landscape was an issue. We also had a little one, no name, that was an issue, so and I appreciate the comments on it. I would like to continue, but that's the flavor of the board.
So there's a motion on the floor.
Have any appetite for continuing, or what are we thinking?
I think we got one.
There's a motion.
I'm prepared to vote.
I am too.
There's a motion on the floor.
There's a
Ernie, I will
motion on the
second your
floor,
motion.
Debbie, and I've got a second. I believe we're prepared to vote.
Say that again, the speaker is really bad tonight.
There's a motion on the floor, and there's a second, and I believe
What's the motion?
for approval with standard conditions listed,
And Mark Ryan.
and with Mark Ryan's approval.
Okay, and then we're gonna vote on the landscape architect?
No, that's included in this single motion. We're sticking with what was written in
They
the,
withdrew that.
they withdrew their request to waive that.
Okay. Okay,
All right, you okay, Ms. Holmwood?
Do you want to start here?
yes, that's
Swing.
okay as I'm gonna get. There's no appetite for a continuance, I take it.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Okay, you doing a roll call?
Yes, I got a motion and a second. Debbie?
Yes.
Ernie, yes.
Joe, yes.
Rob, yes.
Brian, yes.
All right, thank you.
Right here.
Sarah, may I ask? Sarah,
Yeah.
are you gonna put the plans up on the screen again? Thank you. There's no way I could print those.
Rob, I'll read the public notice.
Up next, we have public hearing,
Sarah, just kick that over.
1369 Boston Providence Highway, major project special permit. If we could read the public notice, please.
Notice is hereby given that the planning board of the town of Norwood will hold a public hearing on March 23rd, 2026 at 7 p.m. regarding property located at 1325, 1369 Boston Providence Turnpike and 112 Sumner Street, map 15, block 6, lots 10, 11, and 22, and block 7, lot 10, Norwood, Mass. 02062, in the Boston Providence Highway District, BPH. The hearing will be held at the Norwood Senior Center, 275 Prospect Street, Norwood, 02062, and will be available for remote participation via Google Meet. The application requests a major project special permit pursuant to the general laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and Norwood zoning bylaw, section 3.2 and 7.4, to build a motor vehicle sales facility with open lot storage of motor vehicles and parking in excess of 100 spaces. The board will also review the site plan pursuant to section 10.5. Any zoning relief that may be required in adherence to the Norwood zoning bylaws shall be considered by the board. Interested persons are encouraged to attend the hearing and make their views known to the board. The plans on file with this application in the office of the planning board and may be requested by emailing comdev@norwoodma.gov or by calling 781-762-1240, extension 6064, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Thank you. So we'll just dive into it. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, and ladies and gentlemen of the board. Brian Almeida for the applicant, and with me is Matt Smith of Norwood Engineering and several representatives of McGovern Auto Group, the proposed operator of the site.
I think the big one, there you go.
Sorry about that. So again, I'm Brian Almeida, along with me, Matt Smith of Norwood Engineering and several representatives of McGovern Auto Group, the proposed operator of the site. I am going to introduce the special permit criteria, and then I'm going to turn the presentation over to Matt Smith to go over the plans in detail with respect to the social and economic impacts of the community of this proposal. The project is in large part focused on the former Sky Restaurant site, which has been vacant for several years. The proposed use of the parcel is for motor vehicle sales, and we estimate it's going to create 53 full-time jobs, 23 of which would be working in sales and finance and the management service. There was a previous approval of this site, as this board is probably well aware, to use it as a mixed-use development. That approval has since expired, and the zoning has since changed with respect to this parcel as to mixed use. So we believe that this presents the clearest pathway to an economically beneficial use of the parcel given the current zoning. With respect to the impact on proposed impact of the proposal on traffic, we presented a traffic study which we believe demonstrates a very minimal impact on traffic, and that the site is sizable enough to accommodate the expected circulation such that there won't be any overflow onto Route 1 or other nearby streets. With respect to current utilities that serve the property is currently serviced by municipal water, sewer, and electric. As for new utilities, the applicant and the project team have met with Norwood Light and other relevant municipal departments concerning additional utility needs, and have had a productive discussion with respect to those. As for environmental impacts of the proposal, the project is essentially redeveloping land that's already been developed commercially and paved, leading to a minimal environmental impact. As part of the review process, we've met with the Conservation Commission about the potential for reducing additional pervious surfaces or impervious surfaces and incorporating native plantings where possible. As for the current use of the property as opposed to the proposed use, the property is currently the vacant Sky Restaurant parcel, the Furlong's Candy site, and an additional lot that's contiguous with those shown on the plan, and the proposed use is as previously stated for motor vehicle sales use. In terms of visual compatibility, we believe it's visually compatible with Route 1 as a whole. I would also note that given that the Sky Restaurant site is also substantially set back from Route 1, and I know that the Boston Providence Highway District has the 100-foot restriction, the site is, in our view, particularly situated to accommodate this sort of development as opposed to a site that's more immediately located on the Route 1 right-of-way line. As for the fiscal impacts, this development would have a positive fiscal impact by generating additional tax revenue, in addition to the employment opportunities previously stated. And then finally, as to process, we've had 2 meetings with the planning department and the other town departments. And in addition, we have done some targeted discussions with the butters, including those at 118 and 102 Sumner Street, who are most immediately affected by the project. So with that, I would turn the presentation over to Matt Smith to go over the plan in more detail. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Matt Smith. I'm an engineer with Norwood Engineering Company. I do want to introduce the other members of the project team. We do have Mr. Matt McGovern, the head of McGovern Auto Group. Tom DeTore from McGovern is also here. David Spiegel, who is the current landowner and also involved in the development. John Santilli, the consultant, is with us. Jim Peluso from McGovern is also here. We have our traffic engineer, Maureen LePayton, who is available to answer any questions that you have. And Alex Kraplin, an engineer with Norwood Engineering Company, is with us online. So as Brian said, we're working with the existing Sky Restaurant site, the Furlong site, in a house at number 112 Sumner Street. The total area is 4.6 acres. It has frontage on Route 1 and frontage back on Sumner Street. We've designed a proposed Kia dealership for this site. The building will be towards the front of Route 1, or towards Route 1, towards the front of the site. And the storage and the parking of the vehicles for sale will be in the back. And according with the regulations, we have designed a 30-foot landscape area between the residence and the development, and we're proposing an 8-foot fence between the residence and the development as required by your bylaws. The utilities, I'll just say very quickly, all of the utilities will come from Route 1, including gas, water, sewer, and electric. The stormwater management plan, and I can show you the details if you'd like, it consists of a treatment train of catch basins, drain manholes, a context treatment unit, and then concrete infiltrators. We've also added rain gardens and some tree box filters for more of an LID treatment train. In accordance to your regulations, we recharge 2 inches of the stormwater, and in fact, for the major part of the site, next to this, the existing retail development, we recharge the entire 25-year storm, including more than 6 inches of recharge for this portion of the site, and then the back portion of the site recharges 2 inches of stormwater before discharging to Sumner Street. All of the drainage system has been designed to reduce both the rate and the volume for the 2-inch, the 2-year, the 10-year, the 25-year, and the 100-year storm. We've had, as we said before, we've had 2 meetings with the town departments. In the last week, we've had a change to the Sumner Street driveway. Originally, we had proposed that cars would be able to come in from Sumner Street and also leave from Sumner Street. After discussions with the town engineer and other people in town, we redesigned this driveway to allow only right turn in and left turn in from Sumner Street. We are not proposing to have any cars leave the site and go out to Sumner Street. So what we've designed is there'll be an aisle for the cars to come in with one-way markings on the pavement. But we did put some pavement striping here to allow fire trucks to leave if they want to leave the site. We submitted fire truck plans that the trucks can loop around either to the right side of the building, the left side of the building. They can make it through the parking lot, but we do want to be able to have them leave. And we propose to put a sign in this location, and the sign will say, one way, do not enter, no exit to Sumner Street, fire department exit only. So after a lot of discussions, we've decided to not propose to have the driveway or any cars leave the site onto Sumner Street. The only traffic will be from Sumner Street onto the site. We've submitted a landscape plan by K.D. Turner of Landscape Architects. As you can see, it's a very I would call it extensive, robust plan. What we did along the neighbors is we added more trees than is required. For example, there's 12 trees required along the neighbors. We're providing 26. The rest of the plantings conform with your regulations, with the exception that we're proposing fewer trees in the islands within the site, and we're proposing more trees along the perimeter. Again, we have street trees along Route 1 as required. There are 7 trees required and 7 trees provided, plus the required shrubs. In the package is also a lighting plan that shows that there will be, along the residential neighbors, there will be less than 0.5 foot candles of light, and along the commercial neighbors, there'll be less than 3 foot candles of light. That's your regulations, and we've submitted a lighting plan. We also have,
Thank you, Sarah.
and we also have a sign plan. We're proposing a standing sign towards the front of the site in this lower right-hand corner. The sign will be 20 feet back from Route 1, but the sign will be 20 feet high, where the requirements at that location is 15 feet. However, because this is a standard sign done by Kia, I believe it's a very attractive sign. We're asking a waiver to allow that sign to be 20 feet rather than the 15 feet. And I've also submitted the building signs, and we can go through it if you like, but I think I'm going to wrap up a little bit. So we've also had the sign company submit all the signs to the building. So at this time, in a few minutes, we're going to open up for questions. But I'd like to ask if Mr. Matt McGovern from McGovern Auto Group could come up and say a few words. He's developed a lot of these dealerships, very experienced in working with towns and working with neighbors, and I'd like to ask if Matt could say a few words to the board.
Sure. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Matt McGovern. I'm the owner of McGovern Auto Group. We currently own and operate about 40 dealerships in the greater New England area. I actually started my career in the Westwood, Norwood area with the Prime Auto Group previously. So we started our own McGovern Auto Group in 2016, and we've developed several dealerships in the meantime.
Speak into the mic.
Sorry. Is that better? Yes. Great. So we currently operate the Kia dealership in Norwood at 105 Boston Providence Highway. We bought that dealership about 3 years ago, and we've basically outgrown that dealership. It's a little bit dated. It's too small for us at this point. So we're very excited about acquiring or leasing this property from Mr. Spiegel, and we've put forth a very useful building with appropriate size, appropriate lot, and it will also meet the latest Kia image requirements, which you can tell by our current facility a little bit dated and not really up to market in terms of look and desirability of the building. So we're very excited about this project. We love operating in Norwood. We've had great success over the past 3 years, and looking forward to continuing our operating experience in Norwood. So appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Sure, you want
I'll start.
to? Ernie, please.
Hi, welcome. Matt, you're up.
Yes, sir.
Nice to see you again, by the way. It's been a while.
Same thing. Thank you.
Been
Thank you,
a
sir.
while. You got a landscape architect. Why don't you give that land guy's name to the guy who just left? Maybe he could use it.
Yeah, actually, her name is Kim Turner, Katie Turner.
They'll use it.
We've been working together for probably, I don't know, 15 years. When I
All right.
first met her,
All right,
she was
I'm-
expecting her first child,
Be
so that's how
interesting.
long we know how we've been together, but she is top notch.
So anyway, I have the memo, it's not dated, the review process from all the department boards.
Yes.
And one of the main concerns was that Sumner Street, belong contention
Yes.
was the Sumner Street. So I guess what my question is, so that in this meeting, there were concerns from both the police department and the town engineer. They both didn't want that Sumner Street opening. They didn't give a reason why, but they both said they were against that unless it was a public safety. Now, you said you've had a second meeting with them. Is that, and you've changed the circulation of that entrance. So are they on board now with your new plan?
David Spiegel could probably answer that better. David did speak with Mark Ryan and told him what we wanted to do, and Mark told us what we wanted. And for example, Mark said that he would be agreeable to the turns in, but not the turns out.
Right,
So we've spoken with Mark Ryan, but he has not seen this plan.
Okay, so we have to wait for him on that.
Yes.
But that was, so this,
Yes.
your meeting with Mark was probably after this memo came out.
Yes, this came about very quickly. We've agreed to not have any cars leave the site. I felt that that we could make a good argument to have it the way we had it originally. Again, we have a traffic engineer that did an extensive study, but at this point in time, we're not going to make the argument, and we're willing to change the site. And that's the thanks to Matt McGovern and Tom also.
Did they give you a reason why they didn't put it in the memo, why they were against it? And I understand Sumner Street traffic,
Yeah,
but you've only got one curb cut on Route 1.
Yeah, we were in the meeting with the police officer, and I'm sorry, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, the safety officer, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it had to do with the traffic on Sumner Street and issues with the neighbors and neighbors having concerns with Sumner. I know that originally, when they did the Stop and Shop, they wanted to prevent cars from going down there. My office is right across the street
Yeah.
from there, and I see people making the left all the time.
Every day,
And then
yeah.
trucks aren't supposed to go out, and they get hung up on the rocks. And we even had one of our guys, one of our engineers, happen to be over there getting a salad, and told the truck driver, "You're not gonna be able to make it out that driveway." And the truck driver said, "Take a hike," and he got hung up. So I think it had to do with a lot of people having bad behavior and not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and going down Summer Street. And a deal's a deal,
Yeah.
you know, and so I think
But
that was the concern.
I don't know, I looked at it and I couldn't understand why. Now, I mean, you know from doing a million jobs and all it. We had an issue years ago with Jack Madden. There was an opening going into a residential, and it was a problem of test rides.
Yes.
But, I mean, here they go out onto Route 1, they just take a right at the light, and they're on Sumner Street.
That was my thought, sir. They're gonna make a left here. If they do make a right, I told the team that I'm not gonna argue my point, but there's a very small amount of cars that are gonna be leaving this site, and then compared to what's there. But the safety officer wanted it, Mark Ryan wanted it, and the team has agreed.
Yeah,
to it.
I was just curious if
Yeah.
there's, because
I think it was neighbors' concerns. I don't think it's a safety issue with the geometry or the, and Maureen can tell you better than I can. There's no there's no problem with site distance. There's no problem with the separation distance from intersections. We certainly have plenty of room to build the geometry of the curb cut. But I think there was just general I guess there is, and I do concede that there is an argument that any increase to something that is considered problematic would be more problematic, and I think that's where.
all right, so we'll move on to the circuit. Another issue was circulation, and I don't know if you
Yes.
I was looking at the footage, and it doesn't seem to be that bad, but they want it one way.
Yes, thank you, I meant to mention that.
Okay.
It's on this side of the site. What happens is cars come in this way, and they drop off their cars for service.
Yeah.
They drive in, drop their cars off. I had a two-way aisle here, and there could be a time in the morning if there's a couple of cars stacked up here, a person driving this way may have to maneuver through that conflict. So again, and I think it was a good suggestion, it can help. We made this area one way. So there's a fire lane and then one-way arrows. So anybody coming counterclockwise around the building, they can drive that way. But if you're coming this way, you can't come down between the building and the property line. You have to come along the back. So
That makes
was-
sense.
Yeah, and it makes sense, and so we made that change.
You have the angle parking and they just back out and go the same way. Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry, no, these angle lines is a fire lane.
Oh, okay.
Sir, yeah, it's just a driveway and then a fire lane next to it.
Okay. All right, so at least that's taken care of. The Sumner Street, we'll talk to Mark on. The handicap accessibility, I mean, I would think you'd want those near the building, wouldn't you?
Well, we did. There's a reason. There was, we had them over here. You're supposed to spread them out around the site to be close to different doors. So like if you have two doors to the building, you might want to have a few near one door and a few near the other door. So we had them over here to be near this door, but in reality, the only people that can use that door are parks people. It's not going to be customers coming in there. It was a little bit of a misinterpretation from my standpoint that I was thinking that customers would be coming in that door, but they're not. So we moved them all right in front of the building near the door. So that was a change that makes sense.
Car carriers, what's our car carrier situation?
The car carriers will enter from Sumner Street, make the right-hand turn.
If,
and then
providing that gets approved.
It gets approved,
Yeah.
yeah. And this was something that we had to take a good look at, because originally we had the car carriers coming this way and then out,
Yeah.
but we're not going out. So we had to change the radiuses so the car carriers could come in this way. It works, they'll unload within the site, and then they'll leave by Route 1. And we would ask that be made a condition of the permit, because that's what we're proposing.
And my last thing as of right now, until we get more into it, the existing, on the sign, the 20-foot versus 15-foot, do you know what the furlongs, how high that sign is? That's been there a long time.
Oh, that's a good question. It's probably higher, pretty close to 20 feet, but we can, yeah.
I mean, it's,
Yeah, and that's right on the highway, so this will be set back 30 feet, yes.
I mean, so
Yeah,
basically
that
we're
would be-
replacing one with another,
Yes,
right?
and putting it farther back, yes.
All right, so that's it. So just to recap on the Sumner Street, Mark Ryan has not seen that yet.
He has not seen it.
Okay, so we're gonna wait for his
think
weighing
that
in
makes
on that.
sense, yes.
Okay, that's all I got right now, Mr. Chairman. Oh.
Thank you. Anyone else from the board have any other questions? I know. Ms. Homewood?
Hi, Matt. Just
Hello,
out of
Mr.
curiosity,
Hello.
why didn't we go ahead with the mixed use?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Just out of curiosity, why didn't we go ahead with the mixed use?
Mixed use, well, if you, we could build retail there, but we can't build multifamily there. If you mean mixed use, that means multifamily. It's not allowed on that site. We would have liked to look at that, but multifamily is not allowed on that site anymore.
Okay. Would you guys consider, we have, Mark Ryan weigh in, but, you said bad behavior, we can't be responsible for bad behavior, we just gotta try to make it as inconvenient as possible. So would you guys consider locking the gate in the back, or put a gate on it that can only be opened by a remote?
Well, I don't think we would want to do that. We still want to be able to have cars enter the site from Sumner Street, just from a customer service to allow customers to go in there. The there is a lot of frontage on Sumner. Generally, you want to be able to use your frontage. So to gate it off and not allow anybody to come in from Sumner, that's not our proposal. We're willing to say nobody's gonna leave the site and go out onto Sumner, even though, as I said, I think the traffic counts show that there'll be a very low impact if we had done that. But to prohibit cars to come in from Sumner, that's not our proposal tonight.
Okay, the Sky Restaurant, do you have any idea what the square footage, I have a reason for asking these questions, what the square footage of Sky and Furlongs is in building size?
Yeah,
I don't have Timmy anymore.
I don't have that with me tonight, Mrs. Homewood. We could get it. Maybe if you could tell me what your concern is, maybe I could address that.
You're putting up a building, how big is the Kia building going to be? The proposed new building, how many square feet?
24.8. 24.8.
A little bit more than 24,000, a little bit less than 25,000 square feet.
Okay. Okay, that's my reason. Okay, and the sign, Ernie, you asked the question, the mic is not working great. The sign at Furlongs, you think is 30 feet?
I approximate it's about, I think it's between 15 and 20, but my answer is I don't know. But I believe that what we're proposing, yes, it is 20 feet tall, but it's 30 feet back from Route 1. I think it will be in character with a lot of the signs that are on Route 1. As you can see, it's a very nice sign. I'm not an artist, but they, to me, compared to the sign to be removed and the sign that they're providing, it just looks like a very attractive, sharp-looking sign.
Thank you. And we wouldn't consider doing something like they do in Westwood and put the cars on little stone stackers so it looks prettier, would we? We consider something like that?
That is in your zone, in your zoning bylaw, that you could put a couple of display cars in the front 20-foot buffer, but I believe the McGovern people said that was not something they wanted to pursue. Can you, would you like to do it? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, so we could, I'm getting feedback that they would like to do that, and that is in your zoning bylaw, so that is allowed, so we could show that on the
That's
next
down the road. That's
I
down
believe
the
there's
road.
two allowed, and then there's a lot of specifications as to how big it can be, but they do allow a couple of cars to be shown close to Route 1. We could incorporate that into the landscape.
Okay, just a question, it looks really pretty in Westwood and
Sure.
tried to get it brighter, but we didn't get that, so that's all I have for right now, Mr. Chair, thank you. I'm sure I'll have more.
Is there a lighting plan, Pat?
Yes, there is. There's a lighting plan.
What?
I'll put it up on the.
Is it in the packet?
We sent it to Sarah today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and I don't think I have it in the packet, but I do have it. It was designed by a company called Current. And there's a lot of numbers here, it's hard to read. But the takeaway, I'm sorry.
No, my only concern is your back property is, you're pretty close to a couple of houses right behind you.
Yes, we are.
And I know the front is fine, but I just want to protect those houses.
Yes, so all of the lighting along the houses in the back, lighting is measured in foot candles.
Right.
And the regulation is you have to have less than a foot candle near the residences. And along the back, I can see that we're all the way down to 0 and 0.1 just at the property line, 0 over the property line.
Okay, so you probably have shields on them or whatever.
Yes, everything has shields going the other way, so it's not shooting at the neighbors, but anytime you have light, it will spill out a little bit, but.
No more than 20-foot poles, right?
Absolutely, yeah, I said, make sure, and it says right here, the maximum height of any pole does not exceed 20 feet. We
All right.
don't want to have that problem again.
No, we don't. Thank you.
Mr. Spiegel, did I see your hand raised earlier?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
You had asked a question about why we didn't do multi-use on the site. At the time, we were working with the town, they preferred us not to do it, although at the time it was allowable. So that's the reason we did not go in that direction with the developer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Ms. Homewood.
Matt, what's the current blacktop coverage now, square footage wise?
I don't have that, Mrs. Homewood, but I can tell you that there's going to be a lot more because there's a good part of the site. This part of the site that is currently a residence, it's all in Boston Providence Highway District. There's a lot of green there. As you can see, there's a lot of green in the back. So we are increasing the amount of impervious, but we do meet the open space requirements, and our stormwater system far exceeds the regulations, especially for half of the site where we recharge 6 inches of stormwater, which is the same as a 25-year storm. In the back, we recharge 2 inches of stormwater, and the Norwood bylaws are very protective of stormwater. For example, if you went by state code, rather than 2 inches of recharge, you would typically have to do less than a ½ inch of recharge. So the town regulations provide approximately 4 times the recharge that is normally required on the site. And in this site, for half of the site, rather than 2 inches, we're recharging 6 inches. But there is quite a bit more pavement. It's an area that used to be residentially zoned. Now it's Boston Providence Highway. We are increasing pavement. We did add some LID elements. We have a rain garden. We have some tree box filters. When we met with the town department heads, Carly from the Conservation Commission asked us to add some LID, and we did. And my understanding is that she's satisfied with the design.
What's LID?
Oh, it's that, for everyone, it's low impact development, LID, and that is what we call the country style drainage, where rather than going into a catch basin and into pipes, it flows into either a rain garden where the vegetation will help to clean the stormwater, or rather than into a catch basin, it will go into what's called a tree box filter, where the water goes into a grate next to a tree. The water helps to hydrate the tree before it goes through soil, and the water gets cleaned as it goes through the soil before it goes out in a pipe. So LID is low impact development, which is more of a green country drainage type of stormwater treatment.
Okay, my next question is that there's loads and loads of deciduous trees around the side. If you're looking at the sky on the left, and then it goes around the back of Sumner, and then it goes around the back of Furlongs. Is there some way, you know what I'm going to ask you, is there some way we could keep those mature trees, protect them while you're adding all this hot top? I know you need hot top for cars. I get it. But if we could keep any of those mature trees, that would go a long way.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but in this case, it really doesn't fit into the design. For a dealership and parking lots, everything has to be about a maximum of 2% of grade, which is basically flat. So we have to make the site flat. We have a retaining wall, small retaining wall on one side, and then we are building pavement because in order for the dealership to be viable, they need that much pavement to store the cars. But again, we are providing 30 feet of landscaping next to the neighbors, 20 feet of landscaping on Route 1. There are a very, very large number of trees that's going to be planted, but in this case, mainly because we, for this type of a commercial development, you need to make it flat, and so it's not our proposal to save the natural trees that are on this area that was residential, but did get rezoned to commercial Boston Province.
Okay, I'll keep asking that.
Of course, no, I appreciate the feedback, thank you.
All right.
Just one last quick thing, Matt. You mentioned Kali. Do you have to go before conservation? I
No.
noticed, you're good. I
No,
noticed
we
there was a
don't.
puddle in the back, kind of behind what's there now.
Yeah, we don't, that's
There's no
a
frog
drainage
living in there.
basin that we did before. No, we don't go before conservation, but she does attend the town department head meetings, and we value her opinion, and we.
I just noticed there was like a little pond kind of
Yeah,
a
we
thing
look
back
at
there.
it, it's not a regulatable wetland. We designed that when we did the occasion banquet facility.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been around too long, but it used to be Franco's, and then we built that building for the occasions, and then.
Used to be Lum's.
Yes, exactly, yes.
I'll start already.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah,
Deb.
we can go all night.
Yeah,
on
we
the
could go all
boring
night, yeah.
stories.
I think the only thing that we need to hear from is from Mark Ryan and perhaps the public safety officer, I'm not sure on that, which is now an entrance. You guys want to have an entrance there. I think in our materials, but first it said they wanted to block it off. And I was thinking, one of the first developments when I got on the board many years ago was the Stop and Shop across the street. And we made sure that people could only take a right and not a left. So this is somewhat similar, where you wouldn't have to certainly block that off. And I guess that is up to the town engineer and public safety officer. But it sounds to me like a good solution.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So my original recommendation to the board, I think still stands. I think it would be beneficial to continue this hearing to allow for sufficient time for staff to review the revised plans that were submitted today. I think we'd probably like to hear firsthand from the town engineer that he's comfortable with the curb cut on Sumner. Also from public safety and confirming fire, if the circulation pattern has changed, I think it would be beneficial for the board to receive a memo from the fire department to make sure that they can still circulate around the site safely and with the relative ease that they need to. The sign package was submitted today. I haven't had a chance to look at that, but I think it would be appropriate for me to obtain on your behalf the building commissioner's review to make sure that any relief that may be required is specified. This is a major project special permit, which, as you know, allows you to consolidate multiple requests for relief into one application. So from a matter of process, if anything in the sign package were, let's say, to require a special permit, that would be okay. It could be considered as part of this hearing. We just haven't had the opportunity for the building commissioner to review it and give that call. So I think the continuance to allow for all of that staff time to double check everything. I'd like to spend some time and look at the photometric plan myself just to make sure that it meets our requirements, just given the sensitivity always of our Boston Providence Highway, anchors and the residential abutters directly behind. It's always something that we want to make sure we're looking at. So I'd like the benefit of some extra time to look at that for you. I don't have any other
This is a public
comments.
hearing.
Yes,
But
public hearing.
it is a public hearing, so the board might consider opening for public comment before you take any action.
All right, this is a public hearing. If anyone's online or in the audience, I guess if we're in the audience, we could queue up behind the mic, and if you're online, please raise your hand and we'll go through. Please state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Couple of questions. Ann Makowitz, Cross Street, Norwood. You said that transporters would also be using that driveway. What time of day are they going to be transporting?
Actually, if we could have someone from McGovern answer that question.
Sure, normal business hours.
Which would be what? Because some of the businesses around there open at 8, some open at 9, some open at 10.
8 to 7 p.m., 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.,
Okay.
Monday through Friday.
To 7. Do you know what kind of a traffic issue that's going to pose if there's a tractor-trailer truck making a right hand off of Providence Highway and then trying to get into that driveway? Has any kind of a traffic study been done on that?
Sure, and just so we understand, I can't speak until I'm recognized by the chair.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan?
Thank you, sir. Yes, please.
Yes, we have a traffic engineer on board, and we also used, pardon me, let me find the plan. The standard geometry for a standard geometry for a car carrier. And as you can see, this curve is not very sharp. It's a large radius curve that will allow the truck to make the right-hand turn in without having to have any trouble maneuvering. And
So the truck wouldn't necessarily go into the other lane to make its turn?
Absolutely not. It stays in the right-hand lane, yes.
Deb, I'm disappointed in you. I want to see trees all along Route 1 and no cars like they have in Westwood. Westwood is flat land with no trees. Please, no cars along Providence Highway. I have a question for the board. Some towns have restrictions as to when trucks can do deliveries. Norwood does not have one. Mansfield has one. In other words, no major truck deliveries between certain hours.
I don't think on Route 1, I don't think we have it. Just business,
Okay,
normal.
I'm just curious.
Normal business hours. Like, we don't let them at 3 in the morning or something like that. It's
Yeah.
usually normal business hours.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Steve Canetti from 3 Harrow Road in Norwood. Have a couple of questions. One is about water management. I know that you talked about that a little bit, but there's a retention basin of some kind behind them, across from the hotels down there. And in that whole area, behind the tree line in the back of where the proposed parking lot is going to be, I understand from some of the neighbors that area is really wet. I don't know if it's considered a wetland or not, but whenever they get large storms, like a 100-year storm that comes every 5 years now, they get flooded out and their basements get flooded out. And I'm just wondering if the stormwater management is going to handle that so that the water doesn't go back, that it goes in some other direction. That's my first question.
Thank you. Good.
Yep. Yeah, thank you. We have, we've designed the stormwater management to be carried away from that area of the site. You're right in that the way everything flows in this neighborhood is it flows north through the retail strip, and then it gets carried across to a very big detention basin next to the hotel. And so what we're proposing here is all of the water will be contained within the curbing of the parking lot, and it will be collected all in a low point. It will be recharged into the ground in that area, and then it will leave the site by a pipe that will go through the neighbor and then connect into the drainage system that goes to the detention basin. Now, currently, the water can flow overland, get captured in this parking lot. In the future, it will go by pipes. But we, by recharging as much as 6 inches in the 25-year storm, we vastly decrease the amount of water that's going to that detention basin. For example, going this way and into this pipe, In the 25-year storm, we have almost 7 cubic feet per second drainage. Stormwater is measured in cubic feet per second. There's a minimum amount going, 0.03 CFS. In the 100-year storm, and up until then, the 10-year storm, there's nothing going out that pipe. 2-year storm, nothing going out that pipe. In the 100-year storm, currently 13 cubic feet per second leaves the site, and we've cut it down to 3. So we've made everything channel here, recharge on our site, and then discharge into the pipe. Any other wet areas in the back, we're not discharging that way. We're not discharging anything back here. Everything goes this way into the back parking lot, and then through pipes and into that detention basin.
Can I ask you another question on that?
Sure.
Is there any kind of underground storage tank or anything like that under that parking lot that you're going to build?
Sure. Is it okay if I go ahead and answer?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt.
And sorry for the,
I get it.
It's rules, and rules are good. Yes, there will be a series. These lines are underground chambers. They're 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot cubes made of concrete. So what happens is that the water goes into a catch basin, which are the drains that you see. It goes through a series of pipes, and then it goes into what's called a contact treatment unit. Contact is the name of the company. What that does is that it's a mechanism that removes a lot of the pollutants in the oils, called pre-treatment, that can get pumped out. It removes the sand and the silt, and that gets pumped out periodically. And then after it leaves that treatment unit, it goes into these underground concrete chambers, which recharge the water into the ground. And we've done soil testing to find out what type of soil is there and how fast it recharges the stormwater. And we've also designed, in accordance to the regs, that there's a 2-foot separation from groundwater to the bottom of those chambers, so the chambers aren't going to get flooded.
Can I ask one more on that same line?
Yes,
Are
please.
those gravity fed, or are they pumps?
Everything's gravity.
Okay. May I ask one more question?
Yes, please.
Okay. It looks like the proposed asphalt is somewhere around 200,000 square feet from what I saw on the plans. I think it's 199,652, something like that. And the building is, from the plan, it said it was 26,600 square feet. So that leaves about 173,000 square feet of asphalt. And I was wondering, how does that compare with the asphalt that is already there between Furlongs and Sky, do you know?
Sure. On the overall, for the whole site, there's going to be a big increase in the amount of asphalt. I don't have the numbers, but if you can see, on the existing conditions plan, most of this is asphalt and building up to kind of this area. And we are proposing to put more asphalt up in that area. So we are increasing the asphalt. There's a zoning limit that limits us how much of a percentage of asphalt that we can have, and we meet that regulation. But yes, we are increasing it, but we don't just increase asphalt and let the water run off at a fast rate or a big rate. What happens is, when it does leave the site, after it goes into these underground chambers, anything that does flow out flows into what we call an outlet structure, and that's really just a manhole that has a dam inside of it, like through the middle of it. And in that dam, there are some holes in it that are called orifices that will allow just a little bit of water to go out until it fills all the way up to the top, and then it goes down. It's like water leaving a bathtub. There's a small outlet, and it goes out slowly. So water does go into these chambers, especially in the 100-year storm, and rather than Right now, what we have about 13 cubic feet per second going on. There's this choke in this outlet structure that throttles it down to we'll only have 3 CFS. So we are increasing the pavement, but we've done a lot of work to make sure that we're taking care of the stormwater. And I will say, I joked earlier, I've been doing this a long time. I've been here for 45 years. But the point I'm making is that when we started, people would just, you'd build a catch basin and pipe, and then it would go right into the wetland. And there'd be no treatment, no infiltration, no detention. You'd have wooded area that would allow where the water would go slowly into the wetland. You make it into pavement, and then it would just go right out the pipes. And thanks to a lot of regulations and a lot of feedback by people on boards, there's a Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook that governs our design. And I should bring it. The thing is this thick. It's not a handbook, but for good reason. And so that's our presentation. I will also like to say that my plans are reviewed by the town engineering department, the town conservation agent, the planners, so it isn't just what I have to say. It goes through a lot of scrutiny.
One last question? Yes. Do you do anything to dissipate heat or anything like that nature with all the additional asphalt?
Yeah, we don't. The heat in the asphalt is just something that exists, and I know that's an issue globally, environmentally, but we don't have a way to dissipate the heat. But as I say, there is a limit. I know it is a lot of asphalt, but at least we do have some green space, and the trees that we're planting, which is a very high tree count, that does help somewhat with heat dissipation.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, Ernie.
Matt, real quick, is there a proposed car wash?
No.
No, okay, so that won't affect. And then the second, sticking on drainage, Matt, for a moment. You know, I know, given the size of the site and the kind of pork chop effect, so I understand all the drainage around the building and not going down, you know, how you're discharging it. But when you're out near Sumner Street, that kind of leg of the parking lot, what's the, I don't know if I'm looking at the right plan, what's the drainage route there? I didn't see any manholes out there or anything.
Yep.
Is that all also sloped all the way back to the site?
No, what happens is the area up in the pork chop,
Yeah,
it will go out to the Sumner Street drainage system. There's an existing 12-inch pipe that carries the parking lot, the existing parking lot out to Sumner.
oh, there's one there already.
So there is a 12, but again, we have infiltration, and we've designed that most of the water goes north,
Yeah.
but some of it does go, go towards Sumner
South, yeah.
Street.
Yeah.
But in the same case, even for the Sumner Street, we're recharging the 2 inches of rainfall, and we're decreasing volume and rates in all the storms.
So that area is
So there's
covered.
going to be less water going out to Sumner than goes in.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Olmwood?
Would you consider doing any kind of pervious pavement that alleviates some of the heat
Sure.
in the parking?
Yeah,
Where the 200,000 square foot of blacktop's going?
Sure, I have some thoughts about that. I think pervious pavement is beneficial in certain areas. If it's a parking lot that isn't used that often, if it's a small parking lot, there are benefits to it. We've learned the pros and cons of that. What people do now is they'll put pervious pavement in the parking spaces and not in the aisles, because in the aisles, turning movements, tire movements of trucks and cars can break up that pavement more than the regular pavement. With pervious pavement, you're not supposed to use any salt. which I just don't think is feasible in this area. And if you do use sand, you're supposed to vacuum it up because pervious pavement.
Comes in the holes and locks it up, right?
It does, it clogs it up. Pervious pavement is like a Rice Krispie treat. It has a lot of holes in it. And when it gets clogs up with sand, it doesn't work as well, and it's supposed to be vacuumed, and people don't vacuum. So I like it in certain situations, but in this where it's going to have salt, it's going to have industrial commercial plows, we just feel it will get ripped up in this situation.
Okay, Mr. Chair, may I ask another question?
Yes, please, go ahead.
To Ann's question, lining up cars along Route 1 is just kind of dated. So when I ask about putting it on a little stone stacker, I mean, if people are going to buy a car, are they really an impulse buy because they're lined up along Route 1 and you say, oh, I want to buy that car? I know you all know that I am not a techie with this computer stuff, but I agree that lining up cars along Route 1 or any route just is kind of dated, like a cul-de-sac. That's why I ask about the put it on a stone pedestal. And one of the other ways to mitigate this heat and blacktop, if our landscape architecture for this could get us larger calipers to start so that we have some meat on the bone. I think we can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So that will be something later on down the road that I will be trying to hammer away at. If we could have larger calipers, they drink more water and alleviate some of the heat. Is there any way we could time deliveries so that it's just not during rush hour? Because those of us going down Route 1 to Stop and Shop and, you know, up and down Route 1, if they can't pull off of Route 1, is that something that you guys would consider?
Let me take a stab at it. I don't think there's going to be a problem. If they're coming on Route 1, either traveling south or traveling north, they're going to have to live with the lights anyway. Once they're on Sumner, they swing right in. There's a big sweep. They won't have to stop.
If we don't come in on Sumner, we don't know we're going to be coming in on Sumner. We're only going to be coming in off Route 1, aren't we? Depending.
The car carriers come in off of Sumner and they go out on Route 1, and that will be a condition of permit. Because they can't go out on Sumner because we're not allowed to go out on Sumner.
But so far you're allowed to come in on Sumner with car carriers?
That's what we're proposing, yes. That we're going to come in, cars and car carriers will be able to come in on Sumner and then out on Route 1. Because we can't come in on Route 1 and out on Sumner because we're proposing to not have any vehicles go out onto Sumner.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Spiegel, did you have your hand raised?
Yes, Chair, I'd like to try to address a couple of different items. First of all, in the first 100 feet from Route 1, I do not believe that we have display of automobiles because that is the new requirement. So customers will be parked there to come and do business at the dealership, but it's not going to be for display. As far as pervious pavement goes, we've utilized it in the past, and it's very problematic because it's sort of like popcorn, and it deteriorates very badly. As far as trying to get the pavement cooled or try to reduce the temperature of the site, another thing that we could do, which possibly is meaningful, is instead of having a typical black rubber roof, we could go and put a white rubber roof. And that would take all of the space of where the dealership is and have it white, which is reflecting instead of gaining heat, if that would be helpful.
Speaking for myself, I would appreciate that, yes.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I think that's a good idea.
Make it a bonus.
Anyone else on the board have a
I'm good.
comment with that? All right, where's you now?
Continue. Oh,
Make a
Any other-
motion to continue?
Any other comments from the public before we? Yes, please.
Yes. I'm Carlo, I'm from 102 Solman. I want to know what kind of fence be there. I know you say a full fence, but I want to know where be the fence and what kind of fence. Because when I get out from my house, that in case we have regular fence there, that will block my view, and I can see grass in there.
Okay.
What kind of fence that be there?
I'm sorry, you're asking drains?
No, fence.
The
Fence.
Fence, pardon me,
Yeah.
okay, pardon me, sir. Yes, so as everybody knows, or just so everybody knows, pardon me, this is where Mr. Tahada lives, is that your name?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, so he's here. So next to your house, you'll have your property line,
Yep.
and then beyond your property line, there's gonna be 30 feet of no pavement. And then 20 feet from your property line is gonna be a fence. So there'll be landscaping between you and the fence on the neighbor's property. And there'll be trees and shrubs. And then there'll be an 8-foot high fence, which is required by the zoning, that will be a screen from your property. So there's a 30-foot landscape area from your property line. There'll be 20 feet to the fence, and then 20 feet beyond the fence will be more landscape.
Thank you. Thank you.
If I could, Mr. Chairman, Matt, I think the gentleman was asking about his sight line getting out of his driveway, right? You don't want to be...
Okay.
Maybe you guys
All the way
can
down
just
to the end.
talk
Yeah,
about
that'll be
that.
like 40 feet from my driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me check my scale. Pardon me, I'm just getting a distance view. So what will happen is the fence will end at your property line, and then beyond the fence, there'll be 10 feet. So as you pull out of your driveway and you're at Sumner Street, and you look to the left, there'll be 10 feet of area with no fence. So you'll be able to see that. So the fence is not going to go all the way to the gutter of Sumner Street. It will go, it'll be 10 feet back from the gutter, yeah, to allow you to be able to see.
Anyone else from the public or online? Oh, come on up.
I have a question. I live at Eleanor Lovell, 98 Sumner Street. There's a house there. Are they taking the house down?
Yes, we are.
Where's the house? Is that where the new building is going in?
That's where the parking is going to be. There is,
There's a little house there.
there's a parking lot behind Bertucci's, well, not Bertucci's
Yep.
anymore. And then there's a house number 118. That's the Flaherty house. Then beyond that is a house number 112, and there's a barn behind it
Right,
which has...
which is a rental.
Yes, so that house in the barn is going to come down, and that's where the development is going to be. That's owned by...
Is there going to be a building on it, or you're
No.
putting the road through there?
No, that will be parking. The building is going to be close to Route 1.
Right.
Where that house is in this area will be the driveway and some parking.
Right. I have concerns with the school, the May Institute, and the traffic.
Could you speak to the mic?
Oh, sorry. I'm concerned about the traffic from the May Institute right in that area. I mean, we've complained as the neighbors with the cars going in and out, but there's a lot of school buses every day, and people are working many different shifts all through the day and into the evening at 12:30. There's always traffic there. And how is this gonna, this is just gonna aggravate it if we're gonna have carriers coming in and cars coming down Sumner Street, turning left, or coming off of Route 1. And I hope that the board will consider that as an issue, because there are children there, and they're special ed children, so it's, you know, some of them run away. I've seen them run down the street and they have to go try to catch them, and an increase in traffic, I think, is a hazard to that building there with the children and the traffic. Because it's very close. The driveways are going to be very close as far as I can see. That's all.
Thank you.
I just have a question for, I believe it's Mr. McGovern or whoever. I know it's hard to predict specifically, but do you have any idea what's the frequency of carriers being in there doing drop-offs with cars? Is it going to be daily, multiple times daily, or not quite with that frequency?
So Jim runs our store in Norwood.
Yeah, I know it's not Billy, you can't predict, but you probably can ballpark it.
In terms of new car carriers, about 3 a week.
3 a week?
Yeah.
So that means 3 times in any given week, one of those big 18-wheelers with cars on it will come.
So
We're not
that's
talking
new
3 a day or anything.
There's probably another, I'd say 3 to 5 on used vehicles as well.
Oh, okay.
So it'd probably be about 10 a week.
10 a week.
They're smaller though.
Okay. All right, I just want to get a handle on that. Thank you.
Just one last question.
Yes, Ernie, please.
Just, Matt, the house you said you're coming down, is it the little house with like the turquoise shutters?
No,
That's like
that's-
right behind Bertucci's?
No, that's staying.
That's staying.
The owners do not own that property.
Okay.
That is owned by the Flaherty family. I believe some of the owners have spoken to the Flahertys. If they're there, if they are here tonight, as everyone knows, they have every right to say something. But the house that's coming down is beyond that, which is, there's a house in the front and then the barn in the back that has a...
Is that the big blue one with the turret?
Yes, yes.
And then there's a nice barn behind it?
Yes, that's coming down.
That's the, okay.
Yes.
Because that's a big piece of property.
It is, and that's why it makes, that added a lot to the property. Before, there was just that narrow neck
Right.
that would go in the back, and so the narrow neck was here, and then, so actually, we have the property line there, so this is what that is. And then Mr. Tahada is here, across the street from Common.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Or online? Okay.
I'll make a motion to, Sarah, you had put a date of April 27th. Is that you think that's the closest, the best way to go? Or, I don't know how long Mr. Ryan needs to...
So it's not the closest, but unfortunately, your next meeting date of April 13th, that agenda is already quite full.
Plus town meetings thrown in
So
there
town
too.
meeting, and that's what it's full from. So town meeting, as you know, is in May. There are a series, we discussed this at the last meeting, of 5 petition articles that are on the warrant that all need public hearings. So we'll be scheduling those for April 13th, which is your next regularly scheduled meeting. And that agenda, I think, is pretty close to full, if not already full. So my recommendation would be to continue this until the next meeting, which is April 27th at 7 p.m. here at the Senior Center and online.
April 26th, 7th, April 27th. All right, so I'll make a motion for a continuance until April 27th at 7 o'clock at the Senior Center. And Matt, that'll give you time to get with Mr. Ryan and hash things out and
Yes.
whatever you need to do.
Yes.
And public safety, obviously, fire, or whoever else. So that's,
All right. I have a motion and a second. Joe. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Debbie?
Yes.
Ernie, yes?
Joe, yes.
Rob, yes.
Brian, yes.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Good to see you, Matt.
Good to see you, yes, yes. Hello, thank you for coming, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks for your concern, you're very welcome.
So the next item on the agenda was endorsement of an A&R plan for 463 Washington Street. We did receive authorization from the applicant to grant an extension. Typically, the planning board has 21 days to sign an A&R, which would have required you to sign it tonight or risk constructive approval. We did receive approval from the applicant to extend your period of time to review that, which we asked for because we're waiting to hear back from town council
What was?
with some advice.
What was 421 Washington?
No, it's 463 Washington.
What was there?
It's an A&R requesting to change property lines
Okay.
from one residential parcel to another.
Washington Street, where that was.
So we had solicited some advice from town council on it because they're two non-conforming properties, and it wasn't clear to us that the A&R process was an appropriate review step, and we wanted to get that clarity for you before you were asked to endorse that plan. So I would recommend that that be pushed to the next agenda.
All right, and I appreciate that, and I'll make a motion to continue.
Continue it to 4:15.
Yes.
Second?
Motion and a second to continue to
4:13.
4:13 at 7 p.m. All those in favor? Roll call vote. Debbie?
Yes.
Ernie, yes?
Joe, yes.
Rob, yes.
Brian, yes.
Who seconded that?
Joe.
All right, and last up, we have the minutes from December 15th, January 26th, February 23rd, and March 9th.
One correction. Mr. Taheen is Mr. Tian.
Good to
Speaking
see
of
you.
which, I know you guys probably all said hello. Could I say hello to our new associate
yes.
member?
No, give a shout out.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Debbie. I appreciate it.
Coming in, O'Brien.
Hiding down there at the end of the table.
Yes, I was hiding throughout today's meeting. I was going to sit at the kids' table here, but I figured I'd make a little room.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the one correction.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor? Debbie?
Yes.
Ernie, yes?
Yes. Joe, yes.
Rob, yes.
Brian, yes.
All right.
Can I
Yes.
make a couple of announcements really quickly?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Just a reminder, you continue 1369 Boston Providence Turnpike. Just a friendly reminder to save your paperwork on that one. You'll want to have that on hand for next time, because we won't have new papers for you in your packets. We do have another meeting scheduled for Monday. It's not a regularly scheduled meeting. Thanks to all of you for confirming your availability with me and my team. That'll be at Memorial Hall at 7 p.m. So a little bit different than our usual meeting spot.
Rough seats, bring in a cushion.
Yeah, bring a pillow if it's on. Maybe we can put you in the comfy chairs up on the top. But that'll be for the express purpose of receiving a presentation on the comprehensive plan. It'll be a joint meeting with the Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee, and our consulting firm, J.M. Goldson, will be there, as well as staff from the department. So just Memorial Hall next Monday. Be there, be square.
Are there any materials we need beforehand, or?
Yes, so we'll be circulating the draft of the plan in the next couple
How
of
big is
days.
it?
It's not big. We'll give you a digital copy, and then we'll also print out paper copies for you to have.
Oh, digital, just right up my alley.
I know. I said we would deliver the paper copy. It has color pictures and everything.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and then my last one was just a reminder to check your town emails. We've got a lot going on in the next month and a half between, permitting activity starting to pick up, town meeting preparation and the comprehensive plan. There's a lot of moving parts, so if you need help getting into your town email, I know sometimes folks have problems with passwords resetting and stuff. If you need any assistance, please feel free to reach out to my team. We can get you a support ticket open with IT, but just keep an eye on that so you don't miss anything.
I need a support team.
Thanks,
I need a whole football team of support.
Thank you, Sarah. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Debbie?
Yes.
Ernie, yes.
Joe, yes.
Rob, yes?
Brian, yes.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.